One of our key partners, like was been mentioned, is the European Union, and we have with us Ms. Lana Žutelija, I think I got that right, almost, who is the leader Environment and Climate, Rural Development, Trade and Cooperation, Delegation of the EU to COMESA. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. Honorable Mutai Kagwe, Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Agriculture and Livestock Development, Kenya, our guest of honor. Honorable Lee Kinyanyunji, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, Kenya. Your Excellency, Dr. Hassan Kibeya, Chairperson, COMESA Council of Ministers, Burundi. Honorable Ministers and Cabinet Secretaries, Your Excellency, Chileshe Kapwepwe, COMESA Secretary General, Permanent Secretaries, Principal Secretaries, Assistant Secgen, Ambassador Dr. Mohamed Kada, Assistant Secgen, Dr. Dev Haman, representatives of government institutions, Mr. James Chimwaza, President of the CBC, representatives of the cooperating partners, the private sector, representatives of the EU and the COMESA business sector. Allow me to ride on all the previous protocols. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my very, very big pleasure to be here today and represent Madam Karolina Stasiak, the EU Ambassador to Zambia and COMESA in this very, very important event. The 18th COMESA Business Forum is particularly special to us, to the European Union, this year as it hosts the COMESA Europe Horticulture Connect. We are particularly proud to be supporting COMESA in this very, very important endeavor, and this annual forum serves as a crucial hub for us to align our strategies between the EU and COMESA, to review what we have accomplished so far, but also, most importantly, to set goals for the future. We are particularly grateful to the COMESA Secretariat, the Government of Kenya, the COMESA Business Council, and the Kenya Association of Manufacturers for bringing this event to life. This year's theme, leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth, could not be more timely. You will for sure be familiar that from an EU perspective, we are really trying to advance these key priorities forward, really bringing and matching the investments, the businesses, the private sectors, sustainability of value chains. And digitalization is key to everything. We are at a turning point. The choices that we make now will define how we live in the future, how we grow, how we trade, how we create opportunities for each other and for our people. Let me recall that in this particular region, on this particular continent, agriculture is really the lifeblood. It employs 70% of the population for COMESA, and at this point in time, digital tools are no longer an option. They're essential. They actually help farmers to get access to market. They get them to get fairer prices. They allow them to open new doors to international markets. And talking of markets, we will soon celebrate 1 year of the tripartite agreement between COMESA, EAC, and SADC, a very important milestone indeed for a market of over 800 million people. So we are, of course, embedded in the African continental free trade area, but you can only imagine with this huge tripartite area, trade area, what potential is out there and how much we can actually use it and deepen the regional integration. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would really like to commend the COMESA EU Horticulture Connect initiative. It is really through a very targeted cooperation that we can achieve more and that we stand a chance to go and grow further. We need to channel our investments into enhancing systems, establishing robust quality standards, we spoke about it earlier, deploying cutting-edge technologies, among others, and really bridge this gap between European investors, European buyers, and COMESA producers. Let me reiterate that the EU, as mentioned earlier by the Honourable Minister, the EU is a stable and committed partner on this path. And I'm sure that we all share the same feeling here today, that SMEs are the heartbeat of this transformation. So the EU-funded programs such as the RECAMP, the Regional Enterprise Competitiveness and Access to Markets, but also the EU COMESA capacity building program and the program mentioned earlier by our distinguished moderator, the access to market and the trade competitiveness aspect of the African continent. These are all programs through which the EU seeks to reinforce and strengthen COMESA and COMESA member states' capacities. It is also embedded in a very continental effort. So the effort that we are putting into the COMESA region, we are also in parallel aligning our efforts on the entire continent, working with the African Union, working with the other RECs on the continent, and really embedded in a strong continental regional integration. Let me come back to the digitalization part. Digital certificates of origin, be able to trace, ensure traceability, standards along the value chains is a key component for EU markets. And in this sense, digital tools will of course never be enough. They cannot stand alone. We need the proper ecosystems, we need policies which are aligned, we need borders that are open for businesses. We are talking about cross-border trade. We need infrastructure that connects people, and last but not least, we need skills that can actually empower the next generation. If you get all these elements right into place, this is where we can then grow further together. In this sense, the EU is fully committed to support regulatory harmonization, bridging digital gaps, and strengthening the human capital. In this sense, the second part of this week's theme, value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth, let me reiterate the EU's support in sustainability regulation. And once again here, the EU is of course not walking alone on this path of sustainability and delivering on our joint global commitments. We talk about environment, climate commitments, about the goals of sustainability that all the countries around the world have jointly committed to. So in this sense, the EU is extremely proud to be at the forefront and to push forward regulations such as the EU deforestation-free regulation, the EU carbon border adjustment mechanism, the waste shipment regulation, global supply chains directives, and many others. This is the way to make sure that the products reaching the EU market and the investments which are actually done from the EU side have proper standards, proper harmonization, regulatory frameworks, accountability, traceability, transparency. It is all about creating new market opportunities in line with the legislation and with the global commitments. Once again, we really believe that with the EU support provided to COMESA and its member states, we are on the right path to deliver on this. This is really helping us to bridge this gap between the EU and COMESA member states. I really wish this forum to transcend dialogue and translate into tangible actions. And the 24th Summits of Heads of States and Government is also putting forward a declaration that will send a very resounding and important message that EU and COMESA businesses are ready to work together even stronger for the future. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to wrap up here and once again stress the huge potential of two big markets, the EU market and the COMESA market. Together we can unlock it, and the European Union here reaffirms its commitment to advance regional integration, economic resilience and sustainable development. I thank you very much.